Meeting poetry. An overview. Poetry and poem describe a wide variety of spoken and written forms, styles and patterns, and also a wide variety of subjects. Because of this variety, it's not possible to make a single comprehensive definition. The origin of the word is the Greek word poema. Poema. That is, something made or fashioned in words. Poema. Something made or fashioned in words. From the Greek. And this is a meaning which we may apply to both poetry and poems. Now, naturally, a poet was and is a person who does the making or fashioning. Rather than to seek brief definitions that limit more than explain, however, we believe that the best way to understand poetry is to read it, learn it, experience it, and enjoy it. As your understanding deepens, you will develop your own ideas and definitions. Let us begin right away with a poem based on the life of students and teachers alike. Billy Collins, born 1941. If you haven't heard of Billy Collins, well, he was a poet laureate. Big deal. Schoolsville. Glancing over my shoulder at the past, I realize the number of students I have taught is enough to populate a small town. And I can see it nestled in a paper landscape, chalk dust flurrying down in winter, nights dark as a blackboard. The population ages but never graduates. On hot afternoons, they sweat the final in the park. And when it's cold, they shiver around stoves, reading disorganized essays out loud. A bell rings on the hour, and everybody zigzags in the streets with their books. I forgot all their last names first, and their first names last in alphabetical order. But the boy who always had his hand up is an alderman and owns the haberdashery. The girl who signed her papers in lipstick leans against a drugstore smoking, brushing her hair like a machine. Their grades are sewn into their clothes like references to Hawthorne. The A's stroll along with other A's. The D's honk whenever they pass another D. All the creative writing students recline on the courthouse lawn and play the lute. Wherever they go, they form a big circle. Needless to say, I am the mayor. I live in the white colonial at Maple and Main. I rarely leave the house. The car deflates in the driveway. Vines twirl around the porch swing. Once in a while, a student knocks on the door with the term paper 15 years late, or a question about Yeats or double spacing. And sometimes one will appear in a window pane to watch me lecturing the wallpaper, quizzing the chandelier, reprimanding the air. Questions. 1. What school experiences are here? Why is the poem entitled Schoolsville? 2. Describe the profession, current situation, and characteristics of the speaker. What attitudes do you find about the speaker and about the speaker's past students? 3. Are the details of school experiences appropriate, exaggerated, funny? What things indicate a sense of affection in the poem? And 4. Compare the details of this poem with those in Rothke's Dollar, page 590. What similarities do you find? And what differences? Well, we haven't read Rothke's Dollar, so we don't know. This poem shows us much about poetry. The topic material is drawn from the life we've all experienced in various schools or colleges. The references are introduced not to tell a story, but to make assertions. The connecting element is therefore the fanciful and comic, but also the affectionate views the speaker expresses about the sameness and also the changes that characterize school life. The details in the poem are sharply observed and recorded, such as the chalk dust flurrying down like snow, the girl who signs her name in lipstick, and the students forming a circle. The poem is arranged in lines but does not follow measured rhythmical patterns, and nor does it rhyme. Once we have read and followed the poem, we will not forget it, and it will echo in our minds as time passes, like all good poetry. In short, this poem is alive, and if we read it sensitively, it will become a part of us. The nature of poetry. Well, Schoolsville is unique. It is at once serious and original. It's also amusing. There's no other poem like it. Indeed, all good poems are unique, and because this is so, we cannot formulate a single definition of poetry to account for all poems. Nevertheless, we can offer a number of descriptive statements about poetry that may be helpful. To begin with, poems are imaginative works expressed in words that are used with the utmost compression, force, and economy. Unlike prose, which is expansive and exhaustive, most poems are brief but also comprehensive, offering us high points of thought, feeling, reflection, and resolution. And poems may take just about any coherent and developed shape, from a line of a single word to lines of 20, 30, or more words, and these lines may be organized into any number of repeating or non-repeating patterns. And some poems make us think, give us new and unexpected insights, and generally instruct us. Other poems arouse our emotions, surprise us, amuse us, and inspire us. And ideally, reading and understanding poetry should prompt us to re-examine, reinforce, and reshape our ideas, our attitudes, our feelings, and our lives. Well, I think that's pretty good. What is that, 3 pages of stuff? We still got a lot more to go, don't we? Well, we'll just pause there for now. Maybe we'll pick it back up later. Thanks for listening. And pick up a book, why don't you?